Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. I've been to the cinema. I've been to see a film called Abigail. I'm going to talk about it. Hello, welcome back. My name is Paul Mount. If you're new here, incidentally, if you've just stumbled across this channel because we're talking about this film, and you think this bloke seems okay, he's got some cool stuff, he wears cool t-shirts, why not press that subscribe button there? Press that subscribe button, do the like, the thumbs up like, and leave a comment as well. That would be the smart thing to do. Also, share this video amongst your friends and colleagues, and even people you don't like. I don't really care. Right, we're talking about Abigail, which is a new horror film which has arrived on cinema screens on Friday. It's now Monday lunchtime. It's directed by Matt Bettinelli, Alpin and Tyler Gillett. Yeah. They've previously worked most recently on revitalising the Scream franchise, and they also created the film Ready or Not, which came out a few years ago. Abigail has some similarities to Ready or Not in that it's set largely in and around one location, one sort of big house. Ready or Not, you may recall, and I recall having seen it once years ago, it's about a young woman who's taken to meet the family of her fiancé, but she ends up being hunted around the house by the family who are peculiar, to say the least. It's a film I must rewatch, actually. I've only seen it once, but it's definitely one I need to go back to. This has a very similar vibe, then, and it is set largely in one large building. The story is Alicia Weir, who you may recall from the recent remake of Matilda. She plays the titular Abigail. She's this appears to be a slightly precocious 12-year-old ballerina. We first see her at a ballet class doing her thing and doing her twirls and so on to ballet music. And she's being watched by a group of 6 criminals outside the house who, it appears, and we find out, are under instructions to kidnap her and keep her hostage for 24 hours. They do. They kidnap the terrified girl. They lock her up in this room, in this house. She's terrified. She's scared. She obviously fears the worst. The criminals are told they mustn't disclose any information about themselves, either to Abigail or to themselves. Giancarlo Esposito's character, you will remember him, of course, from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, where he played Gus Fring. He gives them all names derived from the veteran Rat Pack, such as Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy, and so on. So they've all got these pseudonyms. They don't know who they are. And they're told that if they keep Abigail in the house for 24 hours, they'll receive $7 million each for their sins. But she has to be kept safe. So the night wears on. The group begin to sort of little frictions between them. At one point, Abigail gives them a rather chilling warning about what will happen during the night. They sort of dismiss that, but at one point, one of the members of the group goes down into a basement and he's dragged away by something unseen and apparently quite horrific. Another member of the group, Sammy, who's played by Catherine Newton, who recently appeared in a film I was quite fond of, Lisa Frankenstein. She goes to investigate and she finds a headless corpse. Another character called Frank, played by Dan Stevens, he confronts Abigail and demands to know exactly who her father is and what's going on around here. Turns out that Abigail's father is a chap by the name of Christophe Lazare. He's a feared and well-known crime lord, apparently. The group get into a bit of a panic. They decide they don't want any part of this, but suddenly the security system of the house kicks in, shutters, lock down all the windows and doors, and they can't get out. They're trying to find another way out, and suddenly another one of the number is killed, and another one of the number is killed. And we soon discover that Abigail isn't quite who we think she is. This is where I have to make the point that if you've not seen the film, and you're planning to see the film, you might want to stop watching this video now, because I'm going to have to give away the big secret of the film. More than likely you'll know what it is, because the trailer gave it all away. And I do wonder if we didn't know what the secret was, whether the film might have had a bit more impact. I liked the film well enough as it was, but I knew what was going to happen going in. So the spoiler is, Abigail is a vampire, and she's trapped in the house, and she picks them all off one by one. She's a very nasty vampire too. She's very bloodthirsty. She's hungry for blood. She doesn't mind tearing people apart and ripping them apart. And the blood levels are extraordinary, with bodies exploding, gouts of blood, rivers of blood, people puking blood. It all becomes extremely extreme, shall we say. I quite enjoyed this film. I mean, it's a bit of a horror pot boiler. Again, having said it's horror, is it horrific? I mean, it's got a vampire who does nasty things. I'm sort of hardened to this stuff, so I didn't find it particularly horrific, but it's quite graphic. It's quite fast-paced. It takes a little while to get started, but I think once you get to have the reveal of Abigail, obviously it all kicks off. But it's not a subtle film, but it's very enjoyable. There's a lot of blood and shouting and screaming and violence and swearing that you expect in these films. And it's all very well done. I mean, these guys clearly know the sort of film that they want to make, and they make it very well and very confidently. It's played for laughs in places, and I think perhaps it could have done with being slightly darker, because the idea of a 12-year-old vampire is sort of terrifying and has lots of dark potential. But the film doesn't really play up to that very much. It sort of goes more for the laughs. But the performances are very good. Dan Stevens is very good as Frank, the sort of slightly swaggering, macho leader of the group. Alyssa Weir plays Abigail herself. She's very good, very confident in the performance. And we also have Melissa Barrera, who plays the lead female character, the character we root for if we root for anybody, as everybody else falls apart around them. It's very enjoyable. It probably is a sort of film you're not necessarily going to go back to a lot, because I think once you've seen it and once you know what the secret of Abigail is, and bearing in mind you know that going in, if you're film savvy, you'll know all you need to know about Abigail going in. But the fun of it is seeing it all unfold and seeing the bloodshed and seeing the inventive kills. So yeah, it's an enjoyable film. As I say, it won't be on my top 10 list of the films of the year, but I think it passed an hour and a half quite pleasantly while we wait for the big blockbuster season to start in the next few weeks. Abigail is in cinemas now. I'm going to give it a big 7 out of 10, because it's good fun for what it is. It's not sophisticated, it's not big, it's not clever, but then it's not supposed to be. It's sort of a slightly throwaway, disposable horror film, and it does it well. That's in cinemas now. If you've gone to see Abigail, or if you're planning to see Abigail, why not leave a comment down below? As I said, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, tell your friends, etc., etc. And I'll see you soon. Until I do, keep taking the stuff.